Hey there, welcome back to Brickstruction. My name is Ace, and today we're going to be reviewing a LEGO set, specifically set number 75364, the Shin Hati's Starfighter versus the E-Wing. It was released in 2024. So, I think we should just jump right into that. I'm going to start it off like I did at the end of the ARC 170 video with the minifigs. If you'll just give me a second to get them all situated. Okay. This set comes with 5 minifigures. I do have all of them in the case of this set. Okay, so we're going to start off with Shin Hati, I believe. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her last name. She is a pretty solid figure. I do like the back detail on her torso. I think it's pretty well done. It's pretty simple. Her character design is pretty simple. But, you know, there's a lot of good that can come from simple, and I kind of like it. I feel like sometimes LEGO over-engineers the designs of their figures, but not in the case with this one. There is some very light printing on her arms. Almost resembles like the folds of a sleeve, which again is nice light detail. She's just, I don't know, she's a pretty decent figurine. Not much to her, but that's all right. Next up, we have Balin's Skull, I believe. Again, nice, I'm not sure how well you can see that. Not super well. There you can in the reflection. Nice torso printing. Nice printing on the back. He has, I feel like, a little bit more detail on the legs than Miss Hati did. Oh, your hair is crooked. There we go. Just another pretty simple figure. I don't really have much to say about him. I do like the face mold. I like the beard. I think that is done pretty well. Yeah, not too much to say about him. Just another decent figure. Next, we have Morgan Elsbeth. Elsbeth, yes. She comes with a dress as her leg piece, so there's actually not much. Actually, there's no printing on that. Her torso is really well designed. It almost looks like a kimono of sorts. Don't remember if that's what it looked like in the show or not, but I'm pretty sure it kind of has to be, doesn't it? I really love the way that her torso is designed. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's, like, it almost looks like it's folding over, and it's really well done. I like her hair and her hair piece and her face printing as well. I think they're, again, pretty well done. I'd say she is probably my second favorite figure of this set. Yeah, not much to say about her. She's a good figure. I can, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of this astromech. But I love his color pattern, the yellow on blue. It's one of my favorite astromechs of all time, like in terms of design, and it is my favorite figure from this set. You can see there all the little details on him that go, of course, all the way around to the back of the head. Like I said, this is probably my favorite figure. He's pretty unique I feel like the spots where his colors change is like more often than with like R2 or most of the other astromechs. And I don't know, I feel like that just, it's cool to see. And then our last minifigure on the lot, I'm not sure if this guy has a name or not, but he is the pilot for the E-Wing, because obviously it's Shin Hati starfighter versus an E-Wing. I love the chest piece. I think they've done a really cool take on the kind of respirator, I guess is what it would be called, that they have. Pretty simple leg printing, kind of reminds me a lot of the older X-Wing pilots, and I guess that's kind of part of it. I do like his helmet. There's two New Republic symbols, one on either side, and with a yellow stripe going down the middle. I think in terms of pilot minifigs, he's one of the better ones, and I really like the color scheme. I think it fits the E-Wing really well, which you guys will see in a second. That's it for the minifigures. There's, like I said, 5. And now we're going to move on first to Shin Hati's starfighter. Now, I'm going to push you guys back a little so that I have more room. There we go. So, I really like her starfighter. This, when I was building, almost reminded me, oh, and this part can actually slide out. This almost reminds me of a piston engine from one of my favorite aircraft of all time, the P-47 Thunderbolt. Or it also kind of looks like what would that be? Like the front piece of an A1 Sky Raider. Both very beautiful aircraft, and I have a feeling that this was designed after an engine like the Cyclone or some other powerful propeller engine. Overall, the aircraft or spaceship, is a spaceship, is very sturdy. This part, because it can just slide off because of a Technic pin, is a little bit less sturdy than the rest of the spacecraft, but I don't think that affects its durability too much. Actually, I myself have dropped this at least twice, and it has never fully broken on me. The only thing that will really come off if you drop it is this on either side, because it's just attached with those going into there. That little 6-stud connection point. The wings are pretty sturdy. They're held on right in the middle here, is their main connection points, by Technic pins. And I feel like that's one of the best ways they could have gone about attaching the wings. I love the use of stickers to provide weathering. I think it was really smart, and I like the places that they chose to put. It's also cool because this piece folds back and you can hold Shin Hati's lightsaber in there, which is really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and take her. You do kind of have to lay her back like that to shut the cockpit, because it is a tighter space. Like I said, that just goes right in there. I think in terms of looks, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really like it. I think there's a couple things, like maybe a tail, like obviously this wasn't how it looked in the show, but I think a tail fin down here could look kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can see it the same way I can, but I think that could be cool. But looks overall, 8 out of 10. Durability, like I said, it's pretty durable. It's never really broken on me when I dropped it. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. I think the only points you would have to really worry about are these and then the engine. I guess that would be the engine. So yeah, I'm going to give durability a 7 out of 10 just because of the lack of connection points here and then here, obviously. But overall, not horrible. And then playability, I'm going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. It is very comfortable to pinch and hold if you are, flying it around like that. It's very comfortable. There's many different ways you could hold it that, for whatever suits you or for whatever you're doing. And I also like for displayability, it has like landing gear here and here and here. So when you set it down, the ship will be level. So if you're displaying it, it will also look nice. So I haven't really done any displayability ratings, but I think I would give it a solid 8. It is a little awkward. That is a slightly awkward shape. But it's totally doable. So I think overall, I'm going to rate it a solid 8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.5 out of 10. There's only a few minor things that I talked about that I would change. But overall, I really like the Starfighter. I like the minifigures. And I don't really have many complaints about this set. Now, moving on to the E-Wing. This is the New Republic E-Wing. Like I talked about, how the color scheme of both the droid and the pilot match. It is a blue and white fighter. Pretty heavily based off of an X-Wing in certain areas, if you can see. One of the cool features about this is its landing gear. I feel like not many Star Wars ships like Legos, have actual landing gear, but this one does. So has 2 back ones that fold up like this, and then this one, tilt that back and fold it in, and you are ready to fly. I really like the way that this aircraft is painted, or I guess colored. I think the blue and white work together really nicely. I also like the use of stickers showing electrical bits, paneling on both sides, and electrical stuff. Some little stuff on the nose. I really like the use of stickers on this set, and like I've said before, stickers are not my friend, but this one was actually pretty enjoyable to do, even with the stickers. I think, sorry about that. I'm gonna really quickly just put I forgot to mention, that back slot is actually a place for an astromech, which, I feel like it's kind of an of course thing that this set would have a spot, because it did come with one. But yeah, and pilot just sits right in there. Same thing with Shin Hati's Starfighter. You have to lay him back because the cockpit is not huge, but that is perfectly fine. Now on to rating. I personally really like the design of the E-Wing. I like how it kind of pays homage to the its precursors, the X-Wing. I also like, I like a lot about this thing. I like the paint scheme. I like its kind of bulkiness in certain areas, like back here. It's a nice feeling to hold on to. I love the addition of landing gear. That is one of my personal favorite bits about this. I also like that you can adjust this. So what I've done is if I need to store it, I fold these down. Just, it gives me an extra inch on either side. And it also goes down to almost the same exact length as the landing gear. So having it down like this will not affect, like it won't break the wings if you have it down like this because they're both touching the ground. Now, on to ratings. In terms of looks, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I honestly didn't think I was going to like it when I first got the set, but I don't know, it grew on me really quickly. I think the landing gear looks astounding, and I think the dimensions are almost perfect, especially for like a play scale set. It's got a very nice hold to it. So I'm gonna give looks a 10 out of 10. I think, honestly, I don't have much else to say. The looks are a 10 out of 10. Durability is kind of mixed. The ends of the wings and the landing gear are fragile. They are not like, they won't instantly break off if like you tap it on the ground, but they are not the most sturdy thing in the world. Same with this nose piece. It only takes a little bit of force to start pulling the pieces down and off, which, I don't know, it depends on how you're gonna use the set. I'm gonna give its durability a 6 out of 10. I think there's definitely a couple points that could be worked on. And even, I don't necessarily like how movable the connection, like, I don't know if you can see that. I don't like how movable that is. So durability is getting a 6 out of 10. For like, what do I call it? Playability. I think it actually is pretty playable. I didn't mention, but her Shin Hati starfighter, here and then on the other side, they have stud shooters. Same with the E-wing, there are 2 stud shooters right here. Now, I do miss the old missile launchers, but these will do. And they're in a pretty convenient location, at least for me. For playability, I think the landing gear adds to that. Like, that's going to give it a better score because there's just something satisfying about coming in for a landing and pulling down your landing gear. It's got a very good hold. Same thing with Shin Hati's fighter. It has a really nice flat area that goes into a slant where you can pinch, and then there's a flat spot down here where you can hook your thumb. It's a very good, if this is, again, how you're holding it, it's a very good way to, like, hold your fighter, if that makes sense. It's good to hold. It's comfortable. It might not be comfortable if you have really small hands, but if you have at least medium-sized hands, then you should be good. You also, I wouldn't really advise this, but there are 2 blocks down here that you can pinch, and even then, that's okay. Like, yeah, that's actually not bad at all. So for playability, I think I'm gonna give it a 9, because the landing gear, all of the folding bits and parts are just awesome. Yeah, playability is gonna get a 9. I think overall, I'm gonna give the E-wing, I think it's gonna get a 9. I really like how it's designed. I like how playable it is. Its only downfall is durability, but even then, it's not like it's gonna crumble apart. I would just be careful that you're not smashing it into things or dropping it or tossing it, because some people do that. Yeah, my final rating for the E-Wing is a 9 out of 10. Overall, with the characters and the starships, I'm going to give this set rating a 7 out of 10. And the only reason I give it a 7 out of 10, Jesus, is because it is a little bit pricey. Like the ARC 170 I showed you yesterday it cost me about $70. Actually, even less, because I got it when it was on sale. This set ran me about $115. Now, if you are very into the Ahsoka show, or you just really like any of the specific characters, if you're getting this set for like one thing, like if you're getting this set just for the E-Wing, you would probably be better off either building your own or looking for a secondhand seller who is selling just the E-Wing. I've seen quite a few of those, and I've seen the same for Shin Hati Starfighter. But if you're dedicated and you want both of these in your collection, then I would say it's worthwhile. But just know that 115, and you might not have to spend that much, or you might spend more. It's kind of up to you when it comes to how much you want to spend on something like this. But if it's something that you are dedicated to, then I say go for it. But in hindsight, I don't think I would have spent 115 on this. I think I probably would have spent maybe 80 or 90. But what can you do? So that's kind of my rating for this set. It has its ups and downs, like almost all LEGO sets do. But this one definitely did have more good than bad, the only real bad being its price. But even then, it's still relatively reasonable compared to other sets in my collection or sets that I've been looking to get. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the rating, and I hope it guides you guys to decide whether or not you want to make this purchase. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.